I've been on the hunt for a pair of binoculars that actually live up to the hype you see in the glossy ads, and I know the feeling when you pull a product out of the box and it just doesn't match the promise. You get a sleek, high magnification pair, you picture yourself spotting distant birds on a hike or catching the details of a fireworks show, and then the image looks soft, the focus is finicky, or the thing is too bulky to carry around the way you imagined. That's why I'm spending a few minutes walking through the Leica 10x50 Ultravid HD Plus binocular, what it really does for you, who will actually benefit, and who should probably keep scrolling. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of situations where a 10x50 binocular is supposed to shine. The 10x means you're looking at something 10 times closer than the naked eye, and the 50 refers to a fairly large objective lens that can gather a lot of light. In theory, that combo should give you a bright, detailed view even when the sun is low or the light is a little misty. Think early morning birdwatching, dusk wildlife spotting, or a stadium seat that's far from the action. The Ultravid HD Plus is marketed as a portable version of Leica's larger, fully featured 10x25 Trinovid, so the promise is a high-end optical experience that can still fit in a backpack pocket. Now, the practical side. The biggest advantage of this model is its compactness. Even with a 50mm objective, Leica crammed the optics into a barrel that you can slip into a daypack or even a large purse. For anyone who hikes light, travels often, or just hates lugging around a traditional, bulky pair, that's a real win. The roof prism design using phase-corrected BAK4 glass means the image stays relatively sharp across the field, and the HD Plus coating is supposed to push reflections down, giving you higher contrast. In my own testing, the view was consistently brighter than a standard 10x42 pair I own, especially when pointing at a distant hilltop on a hazy afternoon. Colors didn't look washed out, you could still distinguish a bright red cardinal from a gray jay without squinting. One of the more subtle strengths is the ease of focusing. Leica used a central focus knob that feels smooth and clicks into place with each turn, making it easy to lock onto a target and keep it stable while you move the binoculars. For people who aren't used to fiddling with eyepiece focus rings on each side, this is a genuine convenience. The eye relief is generous enough that you don't have to press your eyes hard against the barrels, so even people who wear glasses can get a full field without vignetting. That's something you notice the moment you try to track a moving subject, like a hawk soaring overhead. There's little to no tunnel vision. On the downside, the small size does introduce a trade-off in handling. Because the barrel is thin, the grip can feel a bit cramped when you're holding it for longer than a few minutes. My hands started to cramp after about 10 minutes of steady viewing, especially when the ground was wet and I didn't have a strap. The included neck strap is decent, but it adds a bit of bulk that somewhat defeats the pocket size appeal. If you're planning a marathon birdwatching session or a full day of stadium viewing, you might find yourself wishing for a larger, more ergonomic grip. Another practical weakness is the lack of a rubber coating on the entire body. The focus knob is rubberized, but the barrel itself is mostly metal with a matte finish. In rainy conditions the metal can get slick, and on a dusty trail it tends to attract grit. You'll need to keep a cleaning cloth handy, which isn't a big deal, but it's an extra maintenance step you don't think about until you're trying to see a distant ridge and a speck of sand has settled on the front lens. Now let's address the price point. Leica isn't cheap, and this model sits in the premium bracket for 10x50 binoculars. That makes it crucial to ask, do you need the specific combination of high magnification, light gathering ability, and extreme portability that this product offers? If your typical use is casual backyard birding, a more modest 8x42 pair from a less expensive brand may give you comparable image quality without the premium price tag. On the other hand, if you're a serious wildlife photographer who needs to scout subjects from a distance before setting up a camera, or a theater enthusiast who wants to sit far back and still see the actor's expressions clearly, the extra magnification and compactness could be worth the investment. Who should buy it? Think of people who already own a heavyweight pair and want a lightweight backup for travel. It also makes sense for urban explorers who need a durable, pocket-sized optic in a city where you might be hopping on a subway or a bike. The binocular's strength in low-light situations thanks to the